Peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings. Welcome to a new video. Today, we're going to uncover one of the darkest and most personal clashes in the history of science. A story of jealousy, revenge, and a hatred that continued even after death. Imagine with me, one man, the legendary genius, the discoverer of gravity, the hero of every school textbook. His name is Isaac Newton. But one day, he did something truly shocking. He accused another genius of stealing his ideas, smeared his reputation in front of the whole world, used his power to erase his rival's portrait from museums, and even after the rival's death, tried to wipe his name from history as much as possible. Why? Because that rival, Robert Hooke, dared to claim that Newton stole the idea of gravity from him. Today, we're uncovering the darkest and most personal feud in the history of science, Isaac Newton versus Robert Hooke. A clash full of accusations of theft, revenge, and hatred that continued even after death. Stay with me till the end, you'll be shocked, and you'll learn lessons that will make you rethink jealousy, success, and how history remembers people. Let's get started. Robert Hooke, an English scientist, one of the most brilliant minds of the 17th century, poor, sick, but incredibly talented. In 1665, he published the book Micrographia, the first drawings ever made under a microscope. He discovered cells in cork, and named Hooke's law of elasticity. He was curator of experiments at the Royal Society, performed experiments every week. A genius in physics, light, and microscopy. He invented many things, improved telescopes, clocks, even suggested ideas about gravity and planetary motion. But Hooke was short, hunched, and Newton hated him personally. Why? Historians say it was jealousy. Hooke was brilliant and outspoken, always criticizing others, including Newton. Question for you: do you think personal hatred can destroy scientific truth? Write in the comments, it might surprise you. Isaac Newton, born in 1643, developed the laws of motion and gravity during the plague years. In 1672, he joined the Royal Society, presented his theory of light. Light is particles, not waves. Hooke criticized the theory harshly, said, "Wrong, light is a wave." Newton was hurt, withdrew from the society for years, but the spark was lit. Later, Hooke claimed that Newton stole the idea of the inverse square law of gravity from him. Newton exploded, called Hooke a liar. The fight moved to letters. Hooke accused Newton of more theft in optics. Newton responded with long letters full of sarcasm and insults. But the real revenge came later. In 1684, Hooke publicly claimed that Newton used his idea of the inverse square law for gravity. Newton was furious. The war began in letters and publications. Hooke accused Newton of theft in optics too. Newton replied with venom. He wrote long letters, defending himself, but full of personal attacks on Hooke. Hooke was outspoken, criticized everyone, but with Newton, it was personal. Newton hated criticism, he was sensitive, and Hooke was always critical. The clash intensified. Hooke had supporters in the Royal Society. Newton felt threatened. But when Hooke died in 1703, Newton became president of the Royal Society immediately. And the revenge began. In 1703, Hooke died. Newton immediately became president of the Royal Society. He began erasing Hooke, in his book Optics, he minimized Hooke's contributions completely. He barely mentioned Hooke's work on light, even though Hooke had pioneered many ideas. And the only portrait of Hooke in the society disappeared after Newton took over. Historians to this day believe Newton destroyed it out of revenge, to erase Hooke's name from history. Newton had the power, the influence, and he used it to bury his rival even after death. Despite all this darkness, despite the personal hatred and revenge, Hooke's ideas lived on, and Newton's genius shone brighter because of the challenge. The big lesson, my friends: jealousy and personal hatred can poison even the greatest minds, but true ideas, true discoveries, always survive in the end. Newton was a giant, but his jealousy made him do ugly things. Hooke was forgotten for centuries, but today we remember him as one of the fathers of modern science. You too, if someone is jealous of you, if they try to erase your efforts or steal your credit, remember Hooke, and remember that history eventually gives everyone their due. Newton himself said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." And one of those giants was Robert Hooke, even if Newton tried to hide it. So, never let jealousy stop you, and never let personal hatred blind you from giving credit where it's due. Keep working, keep discovering, because your ideas will outlive the hatred. What do you think? Was Newton right to be angry, or did his revenge go too far? And who do you think was the real victim? Write in the comments. I'll read every single one. If you loved the video, give it a big like, share it, and subscribe with the bell on so we hit 100K subscribers together as fast as possible, God willing. Peace be upon you and God's mercy, and see you in the next clash. Ringed Planet Collision.